Call this meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Will the clerk please take attendance?
All council members are present, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, please call the roll.
Rasmussen.
Aye.
Specker.
Aye.
Tildenburn.
Aye.
Wendell. Avery.
Aye.
Duran. Aye. Niemeyer.
So then we start item 4, which is study session on the on-sale alcohol license video lottery. Bonnie Foster, our city clerk, and Steve Briskman, our city attorney, will present this item. There will be no action taken on this.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and members of the public. Tonight we are discussing video lottery and the possibility of limiting the number of establishments in the city. Please feel free to interrupt as we go through our presentation so we can address your questions at the time that they come up for you. Video lottery has been in the state of South Dakota since 1989. We're unsure when the first video lottery machines were present in Brookings. We have records that go back to 2010 showing that we had 171 licenses for video lottery machines at that time in the city. Today we have 35 establishments and 308 machines. Video lottery regulations closely follow the alcohol regulations stated in state law. And in order to qualify for video lottery, an establishment must first have an on-sale alcohol license, whether it be malt, wine, or liquor. You can see on this slide of the on-sale alcohol license holders in the city. On the on-off sale malt licenses, we have 59 license holders, in which 22 of those have video lottery. For the on-sale wine or cider licenses, we have 24 of those license holders, where 2 of those have video lottery. On-sale liquor licenses are regulated by population, stated in state law. We are not able to regulate video lottery on those, and we have 13 of the 18 with video lottery options. Under the licenses that do not allow video lottery would be the off-sale liquor license that's held by the Brookings Municipal Liquor Store, or the temporary one-day special event licenses. And then the other 2 licenses that I put under there, they're not necessarily do not allow video lottery, but there's caution when a business that has either the on-sale restaurant license or the on-sale convention license to have video lottery. And we would want to first have that business owner have a discussion with the state. The main reason with the restaurant license is because that's limited to 60% of their revenue must be related to food or non-alcoholic beverages. So we would want the state involved in that conversation. And then with the CL or the convention liquor license, that's not necessarily classified as a bar or a lounge. Once that establishment is granted that on-sale alcohol license, there are 6 criteria outlined in state law to which city councils and municipalities can use whether they want to approve or deny video lottery. It's pretty self-explanatory when you read through the 6 options. The first one is number of establishments currently licensed for video lottery, the proximity of the business to other establishments licensed for video lottery, the type of business and manner in which it will be operated, the location of the business in relation to other businesses, residential areas, or activities within the same general area. the extent to which minors may frequent a business connected to the proposed business location, or the effect the proposed business has on economic development. The map you see in front of you is a location of existing businesses that are on-sale license holders that have the video lottery option. You will see that the majority of them are in the northwest corner of the city of Brookings, and that includes the downtown corridor. The colors on the map show the various zoning within the city limits of Brookings. So I didn't want to leave you hanging with just those 6 criteria, not maybe understanding what you can and cannot do. So we wanted to expand on that real briefly for you. So when you apply those 6 criteria, the city may approve or deny an application for video lottery placement. A municipality may influence the video lottery placement at one time only, and that is at the time the license is applied for. Municipalities can consider the number of establishments in the city which is currently licensed for video lottery. And I just want to remind you, we have 35 establishments and 308 video lottery machines. But please know that of those 35 establishments, not all of them are maxed out on the 10 machines that are allowed per on-sale alcohol license. Municipalities can deny any application for video lottery based on those 6 criteria, and we would encourage you, if you were to make a motion to deny a video lottery license, that you would state which of those 6 criteria you are basing your motion on. Municipalities can approve the on-sale license, the on-sale alcohol, and or deny the video lottery portion of that request. Just because you approve the alcohol does not mean you need to approve the video lottery. Existing video lottery licenses may not be denied renewal or transfer based on those criteria. So if an existing business is transferring their license and they hold the video lottery option, you will need to allow them to transfer not only the on-sale, but the video lottery option as well. And then last but not least is you may not restrict the number of establishments certified for video lottery to a number less than those that were established in March of 1994. And when I was talking to the state, I asked them what the significance of that was, and they could not tell me. So I'm sorry, I cannot share that with you tonight. So as we were putting this together, we wanted to let you know what some other cities have done in the state of South Dakota as far as restricting the number of establishments or the number of on-sale licenses. And so the first one, which would probably be the most familiar because it was the most recent, was the city of Sioux Falls has enacted an ordinance limiting video lottery to 186 authorizations for the first 202,600 population, and granting 1 authorization for each 5,000 population increase. Rapid City is allowing 75 authorizations for the first 74,000 population, with 1 new authorization for each 2,000 population increase. Aberdeen has a maximum authorization of 35, and Yankton, which is not listed, it has a max of 39. And Mitchell, they do not have on their code any authorizations for on-sale wine or on-sale malt. And I realize I have a typo on this slide. It should be no regulations for on-sale liquor, not authorizations. So Mitchell does not have authorizations for on-sale liquor. They have restrictions. City Attorney Steve Breitzman has drafted an ordinance which was in your packets. This ordinance would provide some limitation on video lottery based on the city of Brookings population. We are proposing 24 authorizations for the first 23,377 population. The 24 authorizations would be existing malt or wine license holders that have the video lottery option. So there would be 22 malt license holders and 2 wine license holders. And then we would allow for 1 authorization for placement of video lottery per 1,000 increase in population. And the population is the estimate published by the U.S. Census Bureau in even number years, except for the decennial year, which then we would use the population based on that federal census. Steve Brightsman and I stand by for any questions you may have.
Bonnie, you had said that there's 38 license holders right now?
35.
35, and there's only 300 and something, 308 machines right now?
308 machines,
So really, by rights, we could have a total of 350 currently.
correct,
10 per establishment, correct?
correct.
Okay. Council have any questions, comments? Councilmember Specker.
You talked about transfer of the license, so the actual license or the number of machines. So say an establishment only has 6 machines, can they transfer those 4 to someone else?
What they would need to do is, they cannot transfer just the video lottery option. They would have to transfer the on-sale alcohol license, and the video lottery would go along with it. And with that video lottery, if the existing business that is selling the license, if they had 6 licenses, the new business could have up to 10.
Okay, thanks.
Any questions, comments? Thank you. Oh, Ally?
Yes, so you had said we currently have 35 authorizations. If we were to propose an ordinance as it's laid out here, we would only be at 24, correct?
So what is confusing is those are unlimited licenses. On-sale liquor, we are limited by population. So as our current population base, we have 18 on-sale liquor licenses. We can't have any more until our population increases. So the on-sale liquor licenses, which there are 13, we cannot include them in our ordinance. State law does not let us limit on-sale liquor with video lottery.
So this would just be for the malt and
With on-sale liquor, yes.
So if Sioux Falls and Rapid is per 2,000, how did Brookings come up with 1,000?
That was just a starting point for policy decision-making. The 1,000 would be somewhat consistent with the number of machines that have been, or authorizations that have been issued thus far. So it was just a starting point. The council would be free to establish whatever that appropriate number should be.
Okay.
And obviously, we're a much smaller community than Sioux Falls, so, you know, they may grow 5,000 people in the same amount of time we grow 2,000, so.
Research, but was there any like rationale that was consistent between the cities limiting their licenses that they give out? Is there like a reason there's kind of a new push to, I guess, crack down on some of this?
There isn't any direct proof of that. I think that there's a time disparity as to when each city acted on their ordinance to establish those limits. There certainly is a fair amount of sharing among municipalities. You know, what is the city of Sioux Falls doing? What is Rapid doing? And so that's always communicated. And I suppose it would have started with the initial ordinance, and then people would have looked there and then established their own policy. But otherwise, there is no consistency, I don't think, as you look across the board in terms of what those cities that have been cited by Bonnie's analysis would not lead to a clear conclusion as to what the rationale was, or really when, we could look at when those cities adopted, their ordinance, but it would be probably just based on their own policy decision timelines.
Any other comments, questions? All right, thank you. We'll take about a 10-minute recess. And the rest of the meeting will start then. Thank you. Paul?
I would just only comment that if council is interested in staff bringing this back at a future with an ordinance, that at the end of this coming regular meeting, that you as council make that recommendation. That way staff has direction from you. Thank you.
All right, get started with the regular meeting now. Item 5, open forum. Is there any member of the public who wishes to address the council on an item not listed on tonight's agenda? Okay,
Ms.
move on.
Gibbons, you had a comment?
Okay.
Good evening. Well, a few notes that I had from the school board meeting last night. And I attended that meeting where they were discussing as one of their agenda items, the Bobcats back to school plan for this fall. So they were revising the previous plans that have been submitted, and they're still in the process of submitting paperwork every 6 months, reports, and with the continued ESSER funds coming through from the COVID pandemic. So I'm curious about the city and whether we have plans that we have to still submit as part of our obligations with the funds that we received there. But my question is, why are we still doing that when the pandemic is over? So the pandemic ended in South Dakota June 30th, 2021. And then we had the national pandemic, which was declared over by Biden April 10th of 2023. And then finally, the World Health Organization, who announced on Friday, May 5th, 2023, that the COVID-19 is no longer a public health emergency of international concern. So it looks like the COVID pandemic is over, and yet I see a few signs of it here and there, including a sign on the second floor where people can be directed to an office to pick up testing. I just hope people are keeping up with the research. So much has happened, so much has come out in the time since we've started this journey 3 years ago. And I did have a message from a friend this afternoon who has done legal work and is still doing legal work with people. A case of a medical worker for Stanford, not here, a mother, an expectant mother, and she was being coerced to take the vaccine, and she did not, but she was being threatened that if she didn't, she would not have insurance to pay for the coverage of the child being born. They took it to court and won, thankfully. But I hope that at some point we can have real honest discussions about what happened and kind of the good, the bad, and the ugly. But we have to learn from things that happen, and I hope we never see a repeat of a case like that again, a worldwide situation that threw us into fear-mongering, threw us into decisions being made that were not based on science. We had voices being silenced. We had medical professionals here locally, nationwide, worldwide, that were being silenced. And that will never quite settle with me. So I do hope we learn from those mistakes, and I hope things get better going forward, and I'm sure they will. Thank you for your time.
Hi. Human Rights Commission. I just want to invite the entire City Council and the public to attend the Brookings Juneteenth event. That's this Saturday at Pioneer Park, going on from 11 to 4 p.m. So there'll be some speakers there, some vendors, food trucks, and other activities. So everyone, please come and attend. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right, we'll move on. Consent agenda. Approval of the consent agenda. Are there any items that need to be removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none, entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Is there any public comment on this item? Does council have any questions, comments? Please call the roll.
Specker,
Aye.
Tiltonburn,
Aye.
Wendell. Avery,
Aye.
Duran. Aye. Niemeyer.
Aye.
Rasmussen.
Aye.
Passes. Go into the presentations, reports. Introduction of new City Brookings employees. Paul Brusino, our city manager, will announce our new employee.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council members. Kristen, Sam, if you guys would come up to the podium. It's my honor to introduce the two newest members of our leadership team, Kristen Zimmerman, our Parks Director, and Sam Beckman, our assistant to the city manager. They started here right around 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks and I think 5 hours. Is that what we discussed earlier? Yeah, right around there. Kristen Zimmerman is our newest Park and Recreation Force Director. Kristen is originally from Iowa, obtained a degree in recreation, park, and tourism administration from Western Illinois University with minors in marketing and advertising. Kristen served as the past chair of the National Recreation and Parks Association Aquatics Board. At 15, she fell in love with the parks career, first being a lifeguard and rock climbing instructor. She continued her work in the field, holding various positions. Most recently, Kristen was in Mohave County, Arizona Parks and Recreation Administrator, where she did just about anything and everything, for what I learned through the interview process. Kristen does have a strong background in recreation management, grant writing, project management, natural resource management. And Kristen's family is excited to be here in Brookings community and call Brookings home. And Kristen, at this time, I'd offer you an opportunity to say anything that you would like to for the public, for council as well, and those listening.
Mayor, members of the council, myself and my family are very excited to call Brookings home, and we look forward to working with everybody, community groups, and all of you to make our parks better.
Thank you. Kristen attended our first park board meeting last week and has been very busy meeting a lot of the user groups and people throughout the community. So don't be surprised if you see Kristen throughout at the various activities. I know she mentioned this weekend with the kite parade or kite event happening. She's going to be there. Of course, Good Roots and Juneteenth going on. Plenty of activities to be out there in the community. And if you see Kristen, I encourage you to meet her. The other new person we have is Sam Beckman, who's the assistant to the city manager. Sam is originally from Sioux Falls area. I believe Brandon is where she calls home. She recently graduated from Texas A&M University, where she obtained a master's of public service and administration degree. She also has an undergraduate degree from South Dakota State University, where she studied political science and history. Sam has spent the last year in long-range planning intern with the city of College Station, Texas, assisting in 2 major planning efforts. She also interned with the risk management department at College Station and really enjoys local emergency operation planning and emergency operations. As the assistant to the city manager, Samantha will work primarily on the downtown and core neighborhood revitalization opportunities. And Sam, I guess I'd throw it to you if you have any comments that you'd like to share with the council or the public.
Yeah, I just want to say it's really nice to be back, and I'm really excited to be working on the downtown project and anything and everything duties as assigned.
This week, in the past 2 weeks, Sam was thrown into budget. We have back-to-back budget meetings with all our departments, trying to formulate the budget for the city council, which will be part of the fall process. We do that every year, and it takes about 9 months, but right now we're in the thick of it, trying to formulate a budget that this organization can utilize for next year. But anyone listening or council that are interested in talking more with these 2 individuals, encourage you to reach out, stop by their offices. But the Chamber is holding a special open house event, a meet and greet, June 22nd at the Poet Bioproduct Center from 4:15 to 6:30, where you can meet these 2 newest staff members as well as our newest school administrator as well. So once again, anyone in the public that would like to meet these new people, welcome to our community of Brookings. The Chamber is hosting that open house event June 22nd at the Poet Bioproduct facility from 4:15 to 6:30. Thank you.
Congratulations. All right, Ex-Officio Reports. Brookings Municipal Utility Board. Councilmember Avery or Specker, do you have anything to report?
Yeah, I'll take it this time. Went to the meeting yesterday, and Gene, a lot of things discussed. So I'll try to keep my remarks under an hour, if that's okay, Mayor. But, there was a lot, there is a lot of information that we go over, and the different departments give reports. And the one report that we had yesterday was department strategic priorities and objectives for 23 to 25. Pillars of their proposal would be to maintain quality power supply, operational excellence, enhance customer experience, and financial stability. And in each area they had objectives and then measurables to see, are we hitting all these benchmarks. So it was real well planned out look at what the future of needs for power in our community would be and how to address those and to keep upgrading our equipment and our infrastructure. So that was a good thing to hear about. We did talk couple things we talked about that we've talked about here at our meetings. One was the contract with the Swiftel, or which the Dakota Bank Center for the advertising, and they had to approve it on their end too, and they did agree that they should, since they were the Swiftel Center from January to June, that they still owed the city some money. So I just think that's good when they talk about owing us money. So that was part of the discussion. And then they are going to be, Swiftel is going to continue as a sponsor for some of the indoor signage and that type of thing. So they have an ongoing contract with our event center. And then there was a little discussion about probably the unintended consequences of when the land for the water treatment plant was annexed into the city. Then that means that the city gets to collect sales tax on that land, so, or that things purchased for that project. So that was talked about a little bit. And then just something that was hardly a big part of the agenda, but it was something that I was interested in, is we had heard some discussion about this major power plant that was going to be built out by Gregory that was going to involve a reservoir and pumping the water up into the reservoir and then let out, a hydroelectric type of thing. And it was going to be a huge investment and quite a unique or a major project. And now they've, for whatever reasons, it's not going to happen. It's been scrapped, I guess. So that was interesting, I guess. I know there was some discussion about it. I read about it in the paper. There were some groups that didn't want that out there, but I don't know why. But that was just one thing I thought was kind of interesting, that we heard a little bit about it, or quite a little bit about it, and now it's not going to happen. So had really nothing to do with Brookings, other than we probably would have got some power from there, but it's a project. And the solar project is still going forward, that we'll have here, and that power is supposed to go to Brookings. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Since we had no meeting, but we'll have a nice and long one next time.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you. Change orders. Item 8A, action on resolution 23-055. Change order number 1 for 2023-04 STI 22nd Avenue, Phase 2 Reconstruction Project, Timmons Construction Company. John Thompson, our Public Works Director, will present this item.
Members, John Thompson with Public Works. Agenda item 8A requests your support of a resolution that will increase the construction contract for the work on $142,154.29, which is roughly about 3.5% of the contract value. Within this request, there are two requests for proposals, commonly known as RFPs, that make up the value of the increase. RFP number 1 is worth $8,181.55, and it's simply for traffic control improvements that staff has requested during this construction season. RFP number 2 is $133,972.74, and it's a little bit more complicated as it relates to additional work required by the South Dakota Department of Ag and Natural Resources, commonly referred to as DANR. Since our project is adjacent to the 3M facility and the soil and the water underneath the roadway has not been tested for potential PFAS contamination, DANR is requiring that the city properly manage the handling of the soil and the water encountered during the construction period. Any excess soil that is not placed back into our excavation trenches will be placed in a stockpile on 3M property, and 3M will be required to manage that and test it. If it tests clean, they can utilize it anywhere on site, but if it tests and it's contaminated, they'll have to properly manage it and dispose of it. Any groundwater or rainwater that we encounter in our trenches will be captured and piped over to a containment trailer on 3M property. We have two 21,000-gallon containment trailers on their property that 3M has brought in for this. 3M will be required to also test that water, and if it's contaminated, properly dispose of it. The mitigation efforts required by the state included in RFP number 2 are estimated at roughly $84,000, but may change based on how much water we encounter and what Mother Nature does to us over the next couple of months. Staff and city administration have been coordinating with local 3M representatives in reference to the mitigation efforts and those associated costs. 3M has verbally acknowledged their responsibility for the mitigation costs, and staff will continue to work with 3M on a reimbursement process. The last item included in RFP number 2 is a cost to accelerate this project so that the intersections of Orchard and 8th Street are open prior to school, which is August 23rd. The cost to accelerate the project is roughly 32 days is $50,000. In order to accomplish this, of course, the contractor has to bring on additional crews and actually work on the project at multiple angles. In conclusion, staff supports this proposed resolution, and I'm available for any questions.
Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Is there any public comment on this item? Seeing none. Council, questions, comments? Please call the roll.
Tilden Burn,
Aye.
Wendell, Avery,
Aye.
Duran,
Aye.
Niemeyer,
Aye.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Specker.
Aye.
Motion passes. City manager might want to make a comment.
Yeah, I just wanted to confirm for the public, and because the mitigation cost of that, I believe, up to $100,000 or right around there, was created by the PFAS issue from 3M. The 3M will assist in paying for that dollar amount, as well as potentially opening up the intersection earlier, because that will also assist their facility as well. I think it would be a given or a request that the city ask 3M to help pay for that.
Thank you, and I'll carry that on.
Okay. Item 9, ordinances, first readings. Introduction and first reading on ordinance 23-019, an ordinance authorizing the amendment number 5 to the 2023 budget. Ashley Wrench, our senior finance manager, will present this item.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. This is the first reading of ordinance 23-019, authorizing amendment number 5 to the 2023 budget. The city has been awarded national opioid settlement are intended to be used for opioid remediation efforts. The police department has identified a mobile command center as an approved use of these funds. The mobile command center will cost $40,116 and will be used to facilitate prescription drug return programs within Brookings County and will be a resource for centralized opioid training of first responders in the area. Additionally, this mobile command center can be used at various community events. Approval of this ordinance supports the city's strategic initiative of a safe, inclusive, and connected community by investing in opioid remediation and increasing law enforcement presence at community events. The second reading of this ordinance will be on June 27th, and with that, I'll stand by for any questions.
Thank you, Ashley. Any public comment on this item? Does council have any questions or comments? Ashley, I've got one. Where'd they come up with the number 32,293? Is it based on our population?
Nope. So, Mr. Mayor, going through the state attorney's office, the attorney general's office for the state, there was year one allocation was $1.7 million, and the local government's got 32% of that, and Brookings got 2.42% of that 30% allocated. We were the 6th highest recipient of that, based off of just the legislature and the body that decided what money we were going to get. So year one and year two allocation came in at the $32,293, which would be the 2.42% of the 30% of the $1.7 million.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Second reading and action 7/2023. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 10, public hearings and second readings. Item 10A, public hearing and action on a temporary alcohol application for the Brookings Volunteer Fire Association street dance to be held on the 300 block of Main Avenue on July 29, 2023. Bonnie Foster, our city clerk, will present this item.
Mayor, council members, and members of the public, this is a temporary alcohol request for the Brookings Volunteer Fire Association Street Dance. This event has been held in the city of Brookings for 107 years. The last 15 or so years, it has been held on Main Avenue. All required documents have been reviewed and filed. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you, Bonnie. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second. Is there any public comment on this item? Seeing none, does council have questions, comments? Please call the roll.
Wendell?
Aye.
Avery?
Aye.
Dahlgren?
Aye.
Niemeyer?
Aye.
Rasmussen?
Aye.
Becker?
Aye.
Tiltonburn?
Aye.
Motion passes. On to other business. Item 11A, action on resolution 23-053, a resolution transferring city manager contingency funds and budget authority between city departments. Ashley Wrench, our senior finance manager, will present this item.
Thank you, Mayor, members. Trans and budget authority between. Resolution has two parts. Part one will move the remaining temporary pay budget from the General Government Buildings Department to the library in the amount of $21,696. These funds are budgeted for the custodial staff at the library, who are now being managed directly by that department instead of going through the General Government Buildings Department. Part two transfers city manager's contingency funds in the amount of $14,820 to the contracted services account in the Public Works Department and $13,333 to contracted services in the Community Development Department. This is due to some unexpected prior year expenditures for city and county shared GIS software and services that were paid this year. Staff recommends approval of this resolution as presented, and with that, I'll stand by for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Entertain a motion to approve.
So move.
Moved and seconded. Is there any public comment on this item? Council questions, comments? Please call the roll.
Avery?
Aye.
Duran?
Aye.
Niemeyer?
Aye.
Rasmussen?
Aye.
Specker?
Aye.
Tiltonburn?
Aye.
Wendell?
Aye.
Okay. Now we're at item 12, review of introduction of topics for future discussion. Council Member Wendell.
Thank you, Mayor. I would make a motion that we lottery proposed ordinance back for consideration at a future meeting.
I would second that motion.
All right. Any council discussion on this? Please call the roll.
Duran?
Aye.
Niemeyer?
Aye.
Rasmussen?
Aye.
Specker?
Aye.
Tiltonburn?
Aye.
Wendell?
Aye.
Avery?
Aye.
Any other items that council wants to bring up in future agendas? Hearing none, move on to our next meeting. We're going to have proclamation for Park and Rec Month. As of right now, we have no contracts or change orders or first readings. We will have second readings on amendment number 5, obviously. And then we have, obviously, we'll be talking about the casino and the license that we had tabled. And then we have 2 temporary alcohol licenses that have been applied for events at the Alumni Center. And then, of course, the enjoyable city progress report by the Deputy City Manager. With that being said, we will go into executive session now. Are we going to have action afterwards? No action afterwards? Enter an executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-2.3, consulting with legal counsel or reviewing communications from legal counsel about proposed and pending litigation and contractual matters. Entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
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 We are in executive session.